Today we're going to compare 6 Cybex models, 3 from their premium platinum line and 3 from their more budget gold line, as divided into 3 size and weight classes: ultracompacts, smaller sized urban-oriented models, and lastly, a pair of full-size strollers. Cybex's platinum line is, as far as I see it, meant as a curation of their best models, while their gold line, by contrast, includes a wide variety of dime-a-dozen clones, experimental design concepts in need of real-world testing, and even, here and there, model lines that have been developed for long enough that they become a diamond in the rough, worth more, in my opinion, than their budget gold line price point. So let's jump right into it then, starting off with the ultracompacts, where Cybex's platinum model is the Koya, which sells for around $550. The main positives of the Koya are its full-flat, newborn acceptable recline, a mesh window in the seat back that can be handy for warmer climates, the fact that it folds down to within the IATA's guidelines for cabin luggage, that it's relatively sturdy in terms of its overall build, and that it has a shoulder strap. On the negative side, the Koya's upright position is a bit too sloped in my opinion. Despite being sturdy, the chassis is quite loose right out of the box. The model is somewhat unstable feeling due to the narrowness of the rear frame. The fold has more steps and takes more effort than with most other ultracompacts these days, and the shopping basket is somewhat hard to access. The Koya is the newest model in Cybex's platinum line, and in my opinion, is not really worth getting for the price at the current moment. Though, that being said, versus all other Cybex ultracompacts, it is the sturdiest offering available from the brand, and the ability to use it for a newborn without extra accessories is definitely a bonus. Cybex has several gold line ultracompacts, but the model I feel is most similar to the Koya is the new Orio, which sells for a somewhat more reasonable $400, and which has essentially the same seat dimensions as the Koya, but with the advantage of a more upright position, though it does lack the newborn acceptable recline. It also folds down to cabin luggage size, as set by the IATA, has an easier fold overall, has a shoulder strap, and doesn't feel too loose right out of the box, though at the same time, it's also weaker overall in terms of its mechanisms and connection points, which means that it has a higher chance of feeling more rickety in the long run after it loosens up a bit. Additional negatives with the model are that it shares the Koya's problem of a somewhat difficult to access shopping basket. The textiles and harness feel significantly cheaper, a bit too cheap for the price in my opinion. The canopy is not extendable and is too short, and the brake system is awkward to use and also more likely to develop problems down the line due to its more complicated internal mechanisms. The Orio falls into that first type of gold line model, the dime-a-dozen clone, where, other than slight variations in size and weight, it'd be hard to pick it out of a lineup consisting of similar Cybex and Good Baby ultracompacts. And at $400, like the Koya, it's also overpriced in my opinion, for what it offers versus the wider market. Alright, shifting up a class in terms of size and weight, and also adding the highly desirable characteristic of a reversible seat, our next platinum model is the Cybex Meio, which, when factoring in the cost of the seat pack, clocks in at $800. The truth is that I've been a fan of the Meio from launch, always having been quite taken with the way the undercarriage folds open to brace the chassis, and it is a decently engineered stroller, with its chief positives being its highly adjustable luxe seat, the possibility of using it with mesh textiles for warmer climates, a relatively sturdy chassis relative to its size, a light weight of under 10 kilos, and a pretty compact folded size. It has a few negatives as well, of course, with the biggest being lower terrain capability based on the size of the wheels and suspension mechanisms than some other top-end comparable models, somewhat limited storage space, and the fact that it can't fold down compactly as a single piece with the seat reversed. All that being said, the Meio's lightweight combined with its tight and acceptably durable chassis make it a model that I still find highly recommendable, in particular for urban life in warmer cities. In most direct comparison to the Meio is the gold line model, the Meio, which sells for $650, and which attempts to do something unprecedented in stroller design, being more or less the same size as the Meio when unfolded, and having a reversible seat, while also having a total weight of only 6.1 kilos, which is lighter than a lot of ultracompacts out there. On top of this, the Meio also has a lighter version of the luxe seat, and, unlike the Meio, has the advantage of folding down as a single compact piece with the seat either forwards or reversed. Unfortunately, however, that 6.1 kilos is simply too light, achieved through the combination of a clever suspension bridge type chassis design, a shoddier seat frame, and the slimming down of virtually every element on the stroller, which leaves the model tremendously fragile feeling, where it bends and strains when steering, tipping, or encountering obstacles, feels generally unsafe in my opinion when used anywhere near its weight capacity, and is likely to develop serious loosening problems within the first year or two of use, if not outright breaking. The Meio is that second type of Gold Line model, the experimental design, where, with a reversible seat and that light weight of 6 kilos, it seems too good to be true. And it is, being a model which simply cannot remain this light and unreinforced if it's going to stick around in the long run, and where I personally much prefer the heavier, though significantly more durable Meos instead. Okay, moving on to full-size strollers, our Platinum model is of course the Pream, which generally clocks in at around $1,100 and up, and which Cybex has updated and improved over several iterations for 7 years at this point. Like the Meos, a lot of thought has gone into the Pream's design, and it's also quite well engineered, despite being arguably a little more style than performance focused. The main positives of the Pream include a relatively durable chassis, the best, and longest by my measurements, version of Cybex's Lux seat, and sufficient terrain capability to handle rougher urban conditions, like a bit of snow, gravel, and most cobblestones. The chief negatives of the model are that, for the size and weight, terrain capability should have been even better than this. The shopping basket is a bit cumbersome to access. Like the Meos, the Pream can't fold down as a single compact piece with the seat reversed, and the 2-year guarantee, which is what Cybex gives on all their strollers, is shorter than what you get with a lot of other similarly sized top-end models. The Pream's niche is a bit limited, where it excels in my opinion, only in that it's arguably the best full-size option for parents who really want a lie-flat capable seat. But for some people, this, in addition to the way it looks, is enough to make it worth getting. And lastly then, we get to the Pream's Gold Line competitor, the current version of the Balos, which is that last type of Gold Line model. A stroller line that's simply been around long enough that it has, at this point in my opinion, been updated to the point where, despite being sold in a budget price range, it's come to provide value beyond its price tag of around $550. The positives of the current Balos are a decently sturdy chassis, better shock absorption than the Pream's, a Lux seat that, though a tad shorter in the sitting surface, and with not quite as luxurious textiles, is still quite nice. A more accessible shopping basket, and the ability to fold compactly as a single piece with either the seat forwards facing or reversed. It doesn't quite have the premium feel of the Pream, of course, but it is nicer to drive in my opinion. And within its lower price class, it's also one of those models that I find myself recommending quite often these days, for a good mix of rougher urban terrain capability, its reversible seat, and a sufficiently compact fold to fit in a lot of trunks. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as this sort of support helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about any of these models, we have several standalone reviews and one-on-one comparisons for all of them that go into a lot more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.